สวัสดีค่ะทุกคน Hello everyone, this is on the Blue Cloud channel and I'm back with a recap of the episode 10 of Step by Step. That was a roller coaster of emotions. And as usual, be aware of spoilers and enjoy. Okay, before we get into the story and what happened in this episode, I would like to make a comment on the editing. I think as a fan and as a viewer of dramas and movies, I really liked when they add some informations in a story by some storytelling, like a voiceover from the main character, or just to add some dates such as 3 months later or 1 year later. And from episode 9 to episode 10, the transition doesn't seem really smooth, especially in episode 10. I'm a bit confused. It's like they take a big step, not the usual step by step, And it's a pity when the acting is great for others and when we got some interesting scene. So yeah. And in this episode, not only the editing is a problem, or it might be a lack of timeline, time code, or whatever, you know what I mean? But for instance, for Pat, but I'm going to talk about it later, but when he came to see Kunseng, and even before that, when he was talking with Pishot, he seems really sad and depressed, but in my opinion, it's just a pity we didn't see some scene where he was alone like Kunseng in episode 3. I wanted to see some scene of him alone, like to understand more of his feelings. But okay, anyway, let's start to talk about this episode. So, it implied several weeks or maybe several months were passed since Kunseng confessed his feelings to Pat and at the same time his birthday. And Pat wasn't feeling well, but thanks to Pishot, he finally went to see Kunseng. And first of all, I really liked Pishot's advices. And when he was talking about how it's courageous to confess our feelings and that Pat shouldn't be cruel to Kunseng, but also importantly to himself, because at the end, the person who knows better than anyone is himself, is ourself. But yeah, in this case, it's his case. Wait. Okay. But seriously, that was a really nice scene. I appreciated that. Sorry. And not forgetting the small but really happy and moving moment he had when his boyfriend called him and said to him that we don't need to keep in secret the relationship. We can be open about it. I was so happy for him. That was so lovely. A great news. He's going to finally meet his boyfriend's parents next week, and it's a great step for both of them. Okay, along with the happiness moment, I would like to mention that we finally have a wedding scene of Air and Canon that was lovely and funny with Canon's speech. It's a pity that they seem to fake the kiss, or maybe because they don't want to mess up with Red's lipstick. Anyway, I liked the scene. It brings some happiness and they didn't forget to show their baby, Makam. Ku narak mak. She's cute. And of course, I'm going to mention now that Beam came to see Air and I don't know why, that was natural. I liked how they exchanged some words and that Air knew it, but she handled it well, even though I felt bad for P-Beam, and even if it was a good attention saying one day he would find his PA, it still hurts. But anyway, I know that they are adults and no matter what, we have to overcome these feelings. And yes, the fact that P-Beam could talk with her about his feelings, it's like a step and he can finally turn a new page. Maybe it was kind of right people but wrong time. Or it's a reverse. Okay, but for sure they are happy as friends. It was important to show at least this scene and we are also happy for both of them. Okay, so we're finally back with these two, Tab and Jen. But it's been a long time since we have seen each other till the wedding day. And that was worse than I expected because I thought there would be some other scene, but it's like we didn't see each other for age. Wow. And it's also because Tab happens to have a boyfriend. I was like, what? Okay, but I guess that's life. But at the same time, I'm glad that after this, there's one scene where he was with Canon and Canon gave advices to Jap. Like, I agree with him. He had to choose as soon as possible if he wanted to win him back. And for sure, it's not a good idea to go back with Paint his boyfriend. And if things wouldn't work out with Jane, it's not a good idea to go back with the other guy. And it's not surprising that Jap still thinks of him, because after he talked with Canon, he was on his phone and there were some pictures of Jane. Okay, we are finally going to talk about Kunseng and Pat. That was something, guys. Hot moments, like the way we kissed each other was so passionate. It makes me seriously blush so hard. Some lovey-dovey moments, and funny one when Kunseng finally met Pat's father, but the father was ready to fight or something. And I think it was interesting and funny at the same time, because since Pat is his only child, he wants to protect him, even though he wasn't really there for him. But he wants to ensure that Kunseng is the right one, and I wish we could talk a little bit more, and especially because of the age gap, but also as a man. It's a pity that the scene was quite short, but okay, but who knows, maybe we'll have another scene in the next episode. I almost forgot to talk about this small part, but it was a nice scene in which Kunseng finally went with Pat to share some bread to the homeless people. Like, do you remember the first episode when they met at the coffee shop? Kunseng was buying the rest of the bakery, and after that we didn't see him with it until this episode. Yeah, I skipped a discussion, so Pat went to see him in the kitchen and they talk about it, like he was crying like a baby. But yeah, they finally kissed. And then we have some interesting parts, like the drama part. Of course I expected it turned that way. People started to gossip about Kunseng and Pat, but what surprised me was the behavior of Peking. Like, she totally changed. Like, this time she defended Pat when she was talking with his two colleagues. Between, I was so annoyed, and then she even comforted him. I really like this scene where Pat was looking at the board being sad, and then Pishot and Pinan, who were here for him, and Ping joined him and asking them what's wrong, and she was encouraging him, like, you don't need to wait, I don't remember the line, but yeah, it's like you don't have to pay attention to this word, to the words, they won't hurt you, and something like that. And in this case, like in this situation, he was not alone, and it was so good to see this kind of scene. But I was wondering who was behind these words, because some reactors said it could be Ping, because Ping was so suddenly so nice to him, and it's because it links to the fact that Pat is going to be the new manager, but not her. So it's kind of like a jealousy thing, but I don't think so. So it's kind of hard to figure it out. And I was like, maybe the assistant To could be the one who wrote it down, but he seems so nice, so why we should be suspicious of him suddenly? But yeah, because earlier in this episode he kept watching them, kind of suspicious, but at the same time I would say it could be Pui, one of his colleagues, or Prem. Like, Pui, do you remember her? Pui is like I don't think it's the assistant, but in episode 3 She was the one who said to Pat that don't worry, the assessment is anonymous. But Prem seems to also change himself, so I don't know. And not only this incident, but someone filmed them secretly when they were at the bar. Like, how could someone expose them like this? It's their private life. So after all of this, Pat resigned and that was the end of episode 10. We informed Mr. Hun Cheng that Pat resigned, and even though he didn't want to, it's too late because the president, as known as his father, already approved it. Ta-da! Okay, so about the preview, I think it's going to focus more on work, but it's going to be angsty, and I really want to watch the scene of Put being aggressive with Hun Cheng. I mean, he's crazy, but I understand him too. He thinks Hun Cheng hurts him for what's going on, you know? Like, he thinks that Hun Cheng hurts Pat. Alright, that's it for today, and sorry if it was a bit quick, but I mostly want to share some of my thoughts, and voila. See you in the next video. Bye bye!